Hey everyone, I want to share with you my favorite pocket knife, the Victorinox Farmer. I've carried some version of a Victorinox Swiss Army knife since I was a little kid. I've had just about every model there is, and I've probably been carrying this one for I think the last 20 some years now. It was a while before I discovered the aluminum handle, they call it ALOX handled models. I didn't realize that those were actually a different type of knife from the conventional popular red handled versions. But they are actually a big improvement over the red-handled versions in the sense that they're a very robust model that was made specifically for the military. These things are super heavy duty. They have a main blade that's actually thicker than the blades you'll find in the plastic handled models. It also comes with a saw, which is one of my favorite tools on this thing, and we're going to demo this stuff for you in a little bit. This saw is great. You can really do a lot of work with it. It also has an awl on it, which I've used to do a lot of handicrafts. It bores holes through leather, through plastic, through wood. You can even use it to remount soft metals like brass if you have to expand a hole. Really heavy duty awl. Again, this is a much stronger, more heavy duty, better design model than what they would put on the conventional plastic handled. The plastic handled ones are great. I love those things too. Made in Switzerland, best quality. But this is still my favorite, the ALOX versions. It also comes with a can opener, and then it has a little screwdriver tip here which works good for flathead screws, and I use that one for Phillips too a lot. Even though it's not for Phillips specifically, it just works great for it. And then there's also a main screwdriver bit blade here with a cap opener for bottle caps, and that's a really rugged unit. You can also click it into the half position right there. It'll stay in there. It's a very strong spring, and you can use that to really turn some screws with a lot of torque. So it also comes with a little key ring right here, which I employ all the time. This is the setup I always have in my pocket. I'll show you my dinged up, dirty one. I've been carrying this thing for probably about 10 years now. I keep it on a piece of paracord. I love having the ability to tie it onto that little loop right there so I don't lose it. If I'm working on something, drop the knife, no big deal. I've already got it right here. And you can see I keep a little open end wrench here as well. I've tried other knives, just about every kind of Leatherman there is, all sorts of multi-tools, and I keep going back to this design. I like having the Victorinox Farmer, and then I keep a little open end wrench for turning nuts and bolts. Awesome combination. Keep that thing looped up and keep it in my pocket all the time. It's really a great setup. They also make another model like this without the saw. That's called the Pioneer. The saw only adds just less than 1/8 of an inch of thickness. It doesn't add much thickness to it. It's a pretty slender knife the way it is, so I like having the saw. And you can definitely keep this in your pocket. It takes up very little space. You can carry it in a pouch. I don't like having things hanging off the side of me, so I like to keep it in my pocket. I hardly even know it's there. And the quality of this thing is absolutely amazing. If you have any experience with Victorinox Swiss Army knives, you probably already know what I'm talking about. If not, take a look at one of these things. I mean, I've handled hundreds of these things, literally hundreds of them, and they're all absolutely precise. They're all the same. I mean, they're built like the proverbial Swiss watch, very precise, and they sell these things for such little amounts of money. I don't know how they do it. I mean, this thing would be, in my opinion, a bargain even if it was multiples of what they charge for it, but it's not expensive at all, and it's just awesome quality. A friend of mine's a machinist, really brilliant guy. He knows manufacturing, he knows machine work, he knows all this kind of stuff, just super knowledgeable about that sort of stuff. And he had never seen one of these before. He had never really played with one. So he took one of these things from me, I gave it to him, and of course, being a machinist, being an inventor, an experimenter, he had the whole thing completely taken apart and figured it all out. The next day he came in, he was super enthusiastic. He's like, oh my gosh, you were right. I can't believe how awesome this is. And he's going on to tell me how these are an aerospace style rivets and how the blades have steel liners, and he did a Rockwell test on it and all this stuff. And he was really blown away and impressed, especially for what these things cost. So there you have it, the Victorinox Farmer. This is my absolute favorite pocket knife. Can't recommend it enough. So now let's take the one I've got in my pocket and we're going to do some tests with it. We'll show you what we can do with it.